Hi there, and welcome to Apple World. You also Aubrey O'Day from Danity Kane just pulled up with some more receipts on Diddy. And it's not looking really great for him at all, in light of the fact that Aubrey did not come to play either Aubrey's Diddy Lord co-part. Where Richard documented an untidy also hazardous claim against Diddy last week, where she blamed him for supposedly abusing the DIK young ladies and exposing them to torture-like conditions. She additionally professed to have seen him put hands on Cassie in public and different ladies. Aubrey is presently asserting to supposedly be one of those ladies who were harmed and abused by Diddy and you all. She accompanied some long receipts that could very well put Diddy in prison for quite a long time on the grounds that the tea she's going to spill is amazingly zesty. Where Richard's claim emerged from nowhere, since everyone felt that she was as yet cool with Diddy. I mean, sure, we as a whole begun to give Diddy the side-eye when it came to his associations with ladies, all because of Cassie after her touchy claim, where Cassie's claim additionally gave more ladies the fortitude to approach. Thus far, there have been 6 or 7 ladies who have followed claims against Diddy, blaming him for improper way of behaving. What's more, wrongdoing returning around 30 years to the mid-90s, no doubt about it. We certainly realized that Diddy purportedly had a ton of yet. What we didn't expect was that where Richard would have been one of them. For one, she decided to remain with Diddy's mark after Danity Kane separated, and that had individuals accepting that she was something of a brown-noser. She was a piece of grimy cash, and she additionally showed up on Diddy's last collection, Love, which he dropped in September 2023, half a month weeks under the steady gaze of Cassie's claim dropped, and we should not actually get into the way that she had consistently discussed how wild, lie steadfast she was to Diddy, and how he was continuously going to have her reliability no matter what, since he got her out of a terrible agreement, and she said he will continuously be her eternity home slice. From that point forward, you went free. Do you converse with Diddy? Not as frequently as I'd like, however, that is the homeboy everlastingly. Individuals will never figure out that relationship. You realize like individuals didn't have the foggiest idea about that puff had gotten me out of an acre. Emit proceeding in any event. Getting on the show actually so I had faithfulness to that, and that is a regard that I comprehend, that I adored my gathering. And I realized that I like it wasn't an I-picked puff over my gathering. At the time it was a greater amount of when somebody does that. Where I come from, you got to regard that on an enormous level. So I gave reliability to him, and I think I won't ever excuse. I always remember that, and my father and my mom for what we gone through will always remember that, and I think with all his insane, I see things like that as reliability. So I was faithful to him, and I paid my duty back like a money manager should, right? Until he said, okay. Year and afterward, our pay left not. I'ma leave a large number of you did me something, and then, and as strong and simply expressed gracious. By the way, thank you for purchasing out my agreement. Be that as it may, presently, I will go here. I just said nothing regarding that contact also. I never told any one. I took all the disdain that accompanied it, that individuals thought I had didn't pick my gathering. I just took it in light of the fact that it's a reliability thing for me. It's a regard totally, and I would have rather not gotten shelled. I didn't have any desire to get like monetarily, and in terms of the bottom line, it was frankly dumb. So I needed to pay my D, so I did, and I generally regard him for that. Definitely she moreover asserted that she had not. Terrible tale about Diddy, that is all there is to it. You realize it wasn't all wonderful. It wasn't all extraordinary. He's precisely what individuals say he is. But on the other hand, he offered me a chance. I don't have the story that you have. I have I got out alive, no doubt, and I got out with a business. What's more, I don't have any terrible stories. That was just help. So assuming you accomplish something useful by others, they'll accomplish something useful by you. So due to this, many individuals felt the kind of way about her claim, and she has too been blamed for making things up for a fast payday anyway. In the event that you read between the lines, you'll presumably understand that she really dropped a few clues, that things weren't what they appeared for model. In the meeting she talked about how much things were flawed. Further more, how she was fortunate to get out alive. It appears as though she was terrified to tell the truth and was simply obliging whatever variant of the story did he believed her should tell, and sincerely. Can you fault her? Did he supposedly exploded Kitsy's vehicle and supposedly gloat to different individuals about how he could make individuals vanish? Indeed, it appears as though Ware was imagining that she expected to stroke his inner self and keep her mouth shut until a period at the point when he was weak enough for her to approach and tell her reality, and you all did. At any point, she spilled her reality in her claim. She supported Cassie up, asserting that she saw Diddy put hands on Cassie on various occasions, and that at the point when she attempted to help Cassie, Diddy supposedly attempted to unalive her, the court report said on various events. Miss Richard saw Mr. Coles severely beat his sweetheart, Miss Cassandra. Cassie Venture, Miss Venture's tenacious maltreatment included gagging and choking Miss Venture, hitting her with his hands and with objects, slapping her, punching her, and tossing things at her, remembering a burning hot search for gold events. Miss Richard attempted to entomb media contribution Miss Venture's help. What's more, support to leave Mr. Combs with each opportunity. Mr. Combs learned of her endeavors to help Miss Venture and became maddened, compromising Miss Richard's existence with articulations. For example, you need to bite the dust today. I make ninjas disappear, and I end individuals. And you all remember how Cassie said that Diddy frequently put hands on her in public, and individuals never attempted to help her. Where likewise uncovered that he once punched Cassie before Neo and Usher yet, they didn't actually wince and kept eating. The claim says it facilitates a supper at a West Hollywood, California eatery, which Miss Richard and Miss Harper were expected to join in. Among the visitors at the supper were famous people like Neo and Usher, as well as Mr. Levine at the super. Mr. Combs and Miss Venture had a contention before the supper visitor. Mr. Combs murmured at Miss Venture in a shouting murmur and effectively hit her in the gut, making her twofold over undetectable torment. Miss Clark accompanied Miss Venture out of the caf, and Mr. Combs remained and proceeded associating with the supper visitors. Sunrise additionally supported up Little Pole's cases about how Diddy had a few little kids celebrating in the studio, utilizing some not legitimate substances frequently while they were kept in the studio. Mr. Combs would hold parties where he would welcome youthful people who were frequently inadequately dressed and seemed underage to utilize sedates and take part in sex acts. Miss Richard noticed Mr. Combs and his associates kissing, grabbing, and improperly contacting the young ladies. Upon data and conviction, the members frequently left the inmate region to engage in sexual relations and got back right away from that point. The claim likewise discusses how gravely he treated young ladies of Danity Kane while making the band 3 and 4, she said all through the creations of making the band 3 and 4. Mr. Combs denied Miss Richard and her daddy's bandmates essential needs like sufficient food and rest. At the point when Miss Richard or her personality came, the bandmate mentioned dinners or rest. Mr. Combs rejected and chastised them with overly critical remarks like, "You honeybees don't need this," or "You all are not adequately eager." Also, "I'm paying you honeybees to work it out based on data and deconviction." Mr. Combs would routinely be alert for delayed timeframes in light of the fact that he was high on drugs during these periods. Mr. Combs requested non-stop admittance to Miss Richard and her father, became bandmate frequently constraining them to record furthermore practice for stretches of 36 to 48 hours without breaks, and the one time she attempted to defend herself well purportedly, Diddy had one of his hooligans secure her in an unheated vehicle in the center of winter, the claim says Miss Risha. Uri shouted as boisterously as possible in any case. Nobody answered. It was late night in the wintertime. The windows were vigorously colored and the inside of the vehicle was dim, with the exception of weak inside lights. Miss Bard's things in the winter coat were in the studio while the start was off, and there was no intensity with Mr. Cole's earlier dangers and savagery going through her head. Miss Bard felt sheer frenzy, dread and sensations of claustrophobia at being secured in a little dull-encased space with no real way to discuss or call for help. She started to feel cold and dreaded for her life, not knowing when or, on the other hand, on the off chance that she would be delivered. You all this present circumstance is insane, yet as per Aubrey O'Day was not by any means the only individual from Danity Kane to have sought his treatment from Diddy, since she additionally got dealt with that way. Thinking back, we ought to have seen the red banners waving in the air, since making the band was an insane wreck. Yet at the time, unscripted television was chaotic and exceptionally harmful, so everyone accepted it as ordinary. In those days, recollect how poisonous some other comparative shows like America's Next Top Model were, so at the time no one, as a matter of fact, imagined that how Diddy treated Danity Kane on the show was that awful anyway. Aubrey was one of those individuals who attempted difficult to retaliate against Diddy and took no BS from him. She was very obstinate and this made her conflict with Diddy ordinarily question how what would you like to seem to be, however do you need to seem to be a playboy? Subscribe Apple World for more videos.